Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins All World, coin enthusiasts. If you've ever wondered what hidden treasures might be lurking in your coin collection, today is the day you'll want to stick around. We're going to take a deep dive into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1980 Lincoln penny with a rare mint mark. You might think that a simple penny couldn't possibly be worth much more than its face value of 1 cent, but trust me, this coin could surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll discover just how valuable this specific Lincoln penny could be, and you might even have one of these rare finds sitting around in your collection right now. Stick with me to uncover the full potential of this often overlooked coin. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, and throughout its history, it has seen various design changes and unique versions that collectors go wild for. While most people are familiar with the classic Lincoln design, a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, what many don't know is that certain years, especially those with particular mint marks, can be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. And today, we're focusing on the 1980 Lincoln penny. But don't let the year fool you. This particular coin, with its unique features, has caught the attention of collectors worldwide. Let's start by talking about the 1980 penny in general. As far as most pennies go, this one looks fairly standard. It has the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction over a century ago. The reverse side of the coin features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's history and its enduring strength. The 1980 penny was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, meaning it carries two potential mint marks, the D for Denver and the absence of a mint mark for those struck in Philadelphia. Most of the pennies from this year are not particularly rare or valuable, but there's one special thing that could make this penny stand out from the rest. What makes the 1980 penny interesting, and why collectors are particularly interested in it, is the possibility of finding a minting error or unusual variant. Now, let's be clear, most 1980 pennies won't fetch you a fortune. However, there are some specific qualities that could significantly increase the value of this coin. One factor that collectors love to hunt for is the 1980 penny with a double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, causing parts of the design, such as the letters "In Liberty" or "In God We Trust," to appear doubled. These double die errors are relatively rare, and when they do appear, they can significantly raise the coin's value. Imagine finding a penny where the inscription "Liberty" or "Trust" is duplicated. Suddenly, that humble penny has the potential to be worth much more than its original 1 cent. For most 1980 pennies, you'll need to examine the coin closely under magnification to spot these double die errors. The doubling is often most noticeable on the date and inscriptions, so keep an eye out for any unusual features. The doubling should be visible on both the upper and lower parts of the letters, making the text appear as if it has been stamped twice. If you find one of these coins in circulation or among your collection, don't be quick to dismiss it. Take a closer look. Another thing that can increase the value of a 1980 penny is its condition. As you probably know, the condition of a coin is one of the most important factors in determining its value. The more pristine and uncirculated the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that have been handled frequently, left exposed to the elements, or even just stored improperly, will show signs of wear. On the other hand, a coin that has been carefully stored in excellent condition will have sharp details, no visible scratches, and minimal tarnishing. The more mint condition your 1980 penny is in, the more likely it is to command a higher price in the market. It's important to remember that even a 1980 penny with no major minting errors, but in exceptional condition, could be of interest to collectors. A well-preserved coin, especially one that has been stored in a way that prevents wear and tear, will always be worth more than one that's been through years of circulation. Now, let's talk about the mint marks. As we mentioned earlier, the 1980 penny comes in two variations, one with the D mint mark, signifying it was struck in Denver, and one without a mint mark, which indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. Generally, the mint mark doesn't make a huge difference in value for most years. However, certain years, such as 1980, have seen higher demand for particular mint mark varieties. The Denver minted 1980 pennies are more common, but finding one in near-perfect condition or with a double die error is what can really make a difference in value. But here's where things get even more interesting. Coin collectors often find that the value of a specific coin can fluctuate based on demand and rarity. If there's a surge of interest in certain mint mark coins or particular errors, the prices can skyrocket. That's what makes coin collecting such a thrilling hobby. What might seem like a regular, everyday coin today could be worth a significant sum in the future, especially if you've got a rare variant or a coin in mint condition. So, how much could your 1980 Lincoln penny actually be worth? Well, if you've got one of those rare pennies with a double die error or in absolutely pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine. A penny like that, depending on its condition and rarity, can fetch you a whopping $45,000. Yes, you heard that right, $45,000. For a single penny, no less. Imagine discovering that you have one of these rare gems hidden away in your collection, possibly passed down through generations or just stashed in a jar of spare change. It's incredible to think that such a small, everyday object could hold so much value. Now, before you rush off to check your change jar or search through your coin collection, remember that finding one of these rare coins isn't easy. But it's certainly possible, and if you've got the patience and keen eye of a collector, you just might be the lucky person who uncovers a valuable 1980 Lincoln penny. Keep your eyes peeled, because rare coins like this don't just appear every day. Today, we have a special coin to talk about, one that could be worth much more than its face value of just 1 cent. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1981 Lincoln penny with a unique mint mark, a coin that has gained the attention of collectors and investors alike for its rarity and potential value. So, what makes this 1981 penny so special? Well, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll find out how much this unassuming little coin could be worth today, and you might be surprised. When most people think of pennies, they imagine a small, everyday coin, something that's spent without much thought. After all, it's just a penny. However, when you take a closer look at certain years, mint marks, and conditions, you might discover that these coins have hidden potential. The 1981 Lincoln penny, for instance, may seem ordinary at first glance, but there are some fascinating details that can make it a valuable collector's item. So let's break down why this penny might be worth a lot more than you think. To start, let's look at the basics of the 1981 Lincoln penny. The coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been in use for over 100 years and is recognized around the world. On the reverse side, you'll find the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of America's history and strength. For the 1981 penny, the design was the same as it had been for many years, but that's not where the excitement lies. The value of the 1981 Lincoln penny doesn't come from the standard design, it comes from the specifics of the minting process and the potential errors or unique features that may have occurred during production. The first thing to know about the 1981 penny is that it was minted in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those struck in Denver have a small D mint mark to indicate their origin. In general, coins from Denver are more common, while those from Philadelphia are less frequently found in circulation today. But don't be fooled, just because a coin is from a certain mint doesn't automatically make it valuable. What really sets the 1981 Lincoln penny apart is its condition and the possibility of finding rare minting errors. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the potential for minting errors. These errors can drastically increase the value of a coin, especially when it's a rare or one-of-a-kind mistake. The 1981 penny is no exception. One of the most sought-after errors for this particular coin is the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times, causing some of the lettering or design features to appear doubled. If you've ever looked closely at a coin and noticed that the text or images seem to be duplicated, you've probably stumbled upon a double die error. For the 1981 Lincoln penny, this type of error often occurs on the lettering around Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the inscription, "In God We Trust." These coins can be worth far more than a regular 1981 penny because they're much harder to find. The doubling effect is usually most visible on the date and the words "Liberty" or "Trust," so if you're checking your 1981 pennies, make sure to look closely at these areas. So, how do you know if your 1981 penny is one of these rare finds? The best way to check is to use magnification. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe can help you spot subtle doubling in the lettering or images. You might even need to examine the coin under different lighting to get a clearer view of the error. Don't be discouraged if you don't find one right away. Finding a double-die penny isn't easy, but with some patience and careful inspection, you might just come across one of these hidden gems. Now, let's talk about another factor that can increase the value of a 1981 Lincoln penny: its condition. Coins in pristine condition are always worth more than those that have been worn down from years of circulation. When a coin is in mint or near mint condition, it will have sharp details, bright coloring, and little to no damage. If you happen to find a 1981 penny that looks as though it was never even circulated, with no visible wear, scratches, or discoloration, you might have a coin that's worth more than you think. Coins that have been carefully stored in protective cases or vaults tend to retain their value much better than those left to bounce around in pockets or jars. If you come across an uncirculated 1981 penny in perfect condition, collectors will pay a premium for it. But if you're lucky enough to find a coin with a double die error and in excellent condition, you could be looking at something truly valuable. Another key factor in determining the worth of a 1981 Lincoln penny is its rarity. As with any collectible item, rarity plays a huge role in the value. The 1981 penny is not the rarest coin out there, but when you combine factors like mint errors, uncirculated condition, and unique features, it becomes far more desirable to collectors. The demand for specific errors, especially those that are difficult to find, can drive up the price of a coin significantly. Now, let's talk about how much your 1981 Lincoln penny could be worth. If you've got one of these rare pennies, whether it's a double die error or an uncirculated specimen in perfect condition, you might be wondering just how much money you could get for it. The answer is simple: if your 1981 Lincoln penny is one of the rare, high-quality specimens that collectors are after, it could be worth as much as $48,000. Yes, you heard that right, $48,000 for a single penny. It might sound unbelievable, but coins with these special characteristics are highly sought after in the world of coin collecting. As more people discover the hidden value of these pennies, the demand for them increases, which in turn drives up the price. Whether you're looking to sell or simply enjoy the thrill of finding rare coins, the 1981 Lincoln penny is one that could potentially change your life if you're lucky enough to find one in excellent condition or with a minting error. So, before you go running off to search your coin collection or dig through your spare change, remember that finding one of these valuable coins isn't easy. But with some careful inspection, you might just discover a hidden treasure sitting right under your nose. And if you happen to find a 1981 Lincoln penny that matches the description of these rare and valuable specimens, don't hesitate to get it appraised. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. Today, we have a truly exciting topic that could completely change the way you look at your coin collection. We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States, something that might be sitting in your drawer or pocket right now without you even knowing its hidden value. I'm talking about the 1982 Lincoln penny, specifically the ones with a special mint mark. This penny, which many people think is just a typical 1-cent coin, has become highly sought after by collectors and numismatists, and it's got the potential to make you a lot more money than you might expect. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 1982 Lincoln penny so valuable and how you could turn a simple coin into something worth a small fortune. Stick around until the end, because you'll be shocked to learn how much this penny could be worth. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American currency since 1909, and over the years, there have been many variations and changes to its design. But no matter how many new designs are introduced, the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back remain iconic symbols of the United States. However, in 1982, something changed in the world of penny production, and that change has made the 1982 Lincoln penny one of the most unique and valuable coins for collectors. Let's start by understanding what made the 1982 Lincoln penny so special. In that year, the U.S. Mint made a significant decision to change the composition of the penny. Prior to 1982, pennies were made primarily of copper, which gave them their distinctive weight and shiny appearance. However, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint decided to switch the penny's composition to a predominantly zinc-based metal, with only a thin copper plating. This change resulted in two different types of 1982 pennies, one with the old copper composition and one with the new zinc-based composition, but that's not the only reason the 1982 penny is so interesting. There are also variations in the minting process, which is where the true potential for value lies. In 1982, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in multiple locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Depending on where the coin was minted, there are different mint marks that indicate its origin, and this plays a crucial role in determining the value of the coin. Some of these pennies, especially those with certain minting errors or rare characteristics, have skyrocketed in value, and they could be hiding in your collection right now. So, what should you be looking for when it comes to the 1982 Lincoln penny? The first thing to understand is the importance of mint marks. The most common mint marks for the 1982 penny are the D for Denver and the absence of a mint mark for Philadelphia. However, there are certain varieties that make these pennies far more valuable. The first thing collectors and investors look for is the composition of the coin. As I mentioned earlier, there were two main compositions, the copper version and the zinc version. The copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. The copper version of the 1982 penny is relatively rare, and when you find one of these coins in excellent condition, it can be worth much more than a regular penny. The next thing you should be on the lookout for is minting errors. Some of the most valuable 1982 pennies have unique mistakes that occurred during the minting process. One of the most highly sought-after errors in the 1982 series is the double die error, which can make certain elements of the design appear doubled or misaligned. This error usually affects the obverse of the coin, including the inscription "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." If you're lucky enough to find a 1982 penny with a noticeable double die error, it can increase its value dramatically. Another key error to look out for is the overdate error. This occurs when the mint mistakenly uses a die that was meant for a different year, resulting in a coin that has two dates on it. The 1982 overdate penny is one of the rarest and most desirable coins among collectors, and it can bring in a substantial amount of money if it's in good condition, but the errors don't end there. There are also other varieties that make the 1982 penny stand out, such as the 1982 D mint mark penny with a small date and a large date variety. These two varieties feature different font sizes for the date, and collectors are always on the lookout for them because they're both distinct and rare. The small date variety is much more difficult to find, and when you come across one in high grade, it could be worth quite a bit more than your average penny. Now, let's talk about another important aspect of coin collecting: condition. If you have a 1982 Lincoln penny that is in excellent, uncirculated condition, its value is significantly higher than one that has been heavily worn. The condition of the coin is one of the primary factors in determining its worth, and this is especially true for rare or error coins. A penny that's in mint condition will have sharp, clear details and no visible wear, scratches, or discoloration. Coins like this are incredibly valuable because they are much harder to come by. If your 1982 penny looks like it just came off the minting press, it could be worth much more than face value. So, what exactly is the potential value of the 1982 Lincoln penny, especially if you're lucky enough to find one with a rare error or in mint condition? If you have a 1982 penny with a copper composition, a significant minting error, or one that is in flawless condition, it could be worth a remarkable sum of money. And for those of you wondering exactly how much money we're talking about, the value of some of these rare 1982 pennies has been known to reach as much as $54,000. Yes, you read that right, $54,000 for a single penny. it may sound unbelievable, but the rarity, historical significance, and condition of these coins can drive their value up to incredible heights. The combination of mint errors, rare compositions, and high demand from collectors makes the 1982 Lincoln penny one of the most valuable coins in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting to explore the hobby, you should definitely take a second look at your collection. That simple penny might be worth far more than you thought. So, there you have it, a rundown on everything you need to know about the 1982 Lincoln penny and its incredible value. If you happen to find one of these rare pennies, or if you already have one hiding in your collection, now is the time to get it appraised. You never know, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Today, we're talking about one of the most intriguing pennies in U.S. history, the 1983 Lincoln penny. Now, most of us probably think of a penny as just a small, everyday coin that doesn't carry much value beyond its face value of 1 cent. But what if I told you that the 1983 Lincoln penny, in certain conditions, could be worth much more than you ever imagined? Stick with us as we dive deep into the history, characteristics, and potential value of the 1983 Lincoln penny, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this seemingly ordinary coin is anything but. The 1983 Lincoln penny holds an interesting place in U.S. coinage history. In fact, it's one of the years when certain unique characteristics were introduced that collectors still look for today. While most coins from this year were produced in standard quantities and circulated without much fanfare, the 1983 penny stands out for a couple of reasons. First, there were some significant changes in its composition, and second, the potential for mint errors that occurred during production has made this coin one of the most highly sought-after items for collectors. Before we get into the specifics, let's take a step back and explore the historical context of the 1983 penny. The United States Mint had been gradually transitioning the penny's composition over the years due to rising copper prices. In 1982, a major shift occurred when the Mint decided to reduce the copper content in pennies. The new penny, which was still 1 cent in value, was made primarily of zinc, with only a thin layer of copper plating. This change had a profound effect on the coin's weight, appearance, and durability. For the 1983 penny, the Mint struck these coins using the new zinc-based composition. This change in metal made the 1983 pennies lighter and gave them a different look compared to previous copper-based pennies. The result? A coin that might seem like just another penny at first glance, but one that carries certain traits that make it incredibly valuable to collectors, especially if it's in the right condition or features any minting errors. Now, let's talk about the most important factor when it comes to the 1983 penny, its condition. As with any collectible coin, the quality of the penny plays a huge role in determining its value. Most of the 1983 pennies that have circulated over the years have suffered from wear and tear. They might have scratches, dents, or discoloration, making them worth only their face value, or even less. However, if you happen to find a 1983 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Collectors are always on the lookout for pennies that are in pristine condition, meaning they've never been used in circulation and still have their original luster. Uncirculated 1983 pennies are highly prized because they are much rarer than the average circulated penny, and they can fetch significantly higher prices on the market. So, when you're going through your coin collection or scouring your pocket change, make sure to examine the condition of the 1983 pennies you come across. If one stands out as being almost perfect, you might have found a hidden gem, but it's not just uncirculated coins that collectors are after. The 1983 Lincoln penny is also famous for some minting errors that can increase its value exponentially. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin production process, and these mistakes can lead to rare and valuable coins that are highly sought after by collectors. When it comes to the 1983 penny, there are a few key mint errors that make these coins especially valuable. One of the most exciting errors to look for is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the dies used to imprint the design, resulting in a doubling effect on certain features of the coin. For the 1983 penny, the most common places to see the double die effect are the inscription, Liberty, and, In God We Trust. If you notice that the lettering on the coin appears to be doubled or misaligned, you might have found a rare double die error. These coins can fetch a much higher price than a regular 1983 penny, especially if the error is prominent and easy to spot. In addition to the double die error, collectors also look for other types of minting mistakes that occurred during the production of the 1983 penny. One such error is known as the off-center error. This occurs when the coin is struck off-center, meaning that the design isn't properly aligned on the surface of the coin. The result is a coin that looks slightly misaligned, and these types of errors are highly desirable in the world of numismatics. Off-center 1983 pennies can be worth far more than a regular penny, particularly if they have a significant misalignment. Another rare and valuable variety of the 1983 penny is the wrong planchet error. This happens when a penny is struck on a planchet, essentially a blank coin disc, that is meant for a different denomination. For example, a 1983 penny might accidentally be struck on a planchet that is supposed to be used for a nickel or a dime. When this happens, the coin can look slightly different in terms of size or weight, and it becomes an extremely rare and valuable find for collectors. The presence of minting errors, along with the overall condition of the coin, is what makes the 1983 Lincoln penny so valuable in the collector's market. The rarer and more noticeable the error, the higher the value. Even if your 1983 penny doesn't have any major errors, if it's in uncirculated or near perfect condition, it can still be worth significantly more than face value. So, you may be wondering just how much a 1983 penny can be worth if it's in great condition or has one of these rare minting errors. Well, the answer might surprise you. Depending on the rarity of the mint error and the coin's condition, some 1983 Lincoln pennies have been known to sell for as much as $62,000. Yes, that's right, $62,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that a coin worth only 1 cent could be worth that much money, but when you factor in the rarity, minting errors, and excellent condition of the coin, the price can reach astronomical heights. Now, I know what you're thinking, how can a simple penny be worth so much? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. Minting errors make a coin rare, and pristine condition makes it even more valuable. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these rare and valuable coins, which drives up the demand and price. So, if you've got a 1983 Lincoln penny in your collection, now is the time to take a closer look. Carefully inspect it for any minting errors, check its condition, and see if you might have a rare find on your hands. And if you happen to find one of these prized pennies, get it appraised. It could be worth much more than you ever thought possible. Today, we've got a fascinating topic lined up for you. While most people may think of a penny as just pocket change, there's a hidden world of valuable and rare coins that could be sitting in your collection or even in your coin jar right now. That's right, today we're talking about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1984, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but in the right condition or with a unique characteristic, it can be worth an incredible amount of money. By the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is so special, how to spot valuable versions of it, and just how much you could sell one for if you happen to have the right one in your hands. The Lincoln penny is one of the most recognizable and widely circulated coins in the United States. First introduced in 1909, it has undergone various design changes over the years, but its most iconic features, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, have remained in place for decades. By 1984, the design of the penny was well established, but that doesn't mean that the 1984 edition didn't have a few surprises in store for collectors and numismatists. Before we dive into the value and the rare versions of the 1984 Lincoln penny, let's take a moment to understand the historical context of this coin. The U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of pennies during this period, and the coinage of the early 1980s was important for several reasons. At that time, the U.S. was experiencing inflationary pressures, and the government was concerned about the rising cost of copper, which had been used as the primary metal in pennies for many years. In 1982, the U.S. Mint had made a major change to the composition of the penny, replacing much of the copper with zinc. This change continued in 1984, and most pennies produced during that time were made of this new copper-plated zinc alloy. Now, most 1984 Lincoln pennies were produced in large quantities, and you may think that they're just like any other regular coin, circulating throughout the economy with no special significance. However, like many coins, the value of the 1984 penny largely depends on its rarity, condition, and the possibility of any unique features that make it stand out from the rest. While most of the pennies were struck normally, some examples contain errors, subtle variations, or characteristics that make them rare and highly collectible. Let's talk about one of the most significant factors that can influence the value of your 1984 penny: its condition. We all know that coins, especially those that have been in circulation for decades, can show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, dings, and discoloration are common in pennies that have been passed from hand to hand over the years. But for collectors, the condition of a coin is absolutely critical. Coins that are in mint state or uncirculated condition, meaning they haven't been used in circulation and are free of any damage, are far more valuable than their worn counterparts. If you find a 1984 Lincoln penny that is in pristine condition, with sharp details, bright luster, and no visible signs of wear, you could be sitting on a valuable coin. A well-preserved 1984 penny is much rarer than it may seem. Even though the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies that year, many of them were used in everyday transactions, and it's incredibly difficult to find one in perfect condition. This rarity is what drives the demand among collectors. A high-quality 1984 Lincoln penny in near-perfect condition could be worth much more than face value, but it's not just the condition that can affect a coin's value. As is often the case in the world of numismatics, minting errors play a huge role in determining a coin's worth. When a mistake occurs during the coin production process, it can lead to a rare, error coin that collectors will go to great lengths to acquire. The 1984 Lincoln penny has a few types of minting errors that make it particularly valuable, and these are the kinds of coins that could potentially earn you thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity of the error. One of the most sought-after types of errors in the 1984 penny is the double die variety. A double die error happens when a coin is struck more than once with the same die, leading to a doubling effect on certain parts of the design. For the 1984 penny, this often affects the inscription, Liberty, or the motto, In God We Trust. The double die effect causes the letters to appear doubled, which is a distinctive feature that collectors look for. If you come across a 1984 penny with a noticeable double die error, don't dismiss it as just another penny. It could be worth far more than you think. Another important error to look for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. The result is a coin that has part of its design missing or misaligned. While the off-center error can be subtle, it is highly valued among collectors because it makes the coin unique and gives it a distinct look. If you find an off-center 1984 penny, especially one that's significantly misaligned, it could be worth a lot more than a regular penny. But the errors don't stop there. Another rare variety of the 1984 penny that collectors seek is the clashed die error. This occurs when two dies used to strike the coins collide, creating impressions of one die on the other. This can lead to strange markings or design features that shouldn't be there. A clashed die 1984 penny is extremely rare and can increase the value of the coin substantially. It's also important to keep in mind that mint marks play a crucial role in determining the value of certain coins. The 1984 Lincoln penny was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most 1984 pennies have no mint mark, which indicates they were struck at the Philadelphia mint. However, some coins carry a D mint mark, indicating that they were produced in Denver. While both types of mint marks are common, some collectors prefer to seek out coins from one mint over the other, depending on the specific rarity and distribution. So, with all these factors in mind, what's the potential value of a 1984 Lincoln penny, especially one in excellent condition or with a rare minting error? Well, depending on the type of error and the overall quality of the coin, the value of a 1984 penny can range from just a few cents to thousands of dollars. But in some rare cases, if the coin is in perfect, uncirculated condition or has one of the more sought-after minting errors, it could be worth an astounding sum of money and the moment you've been waiting for. How much can a 1984 Lincoln penny be worth? If you happen to have a well-preserved, error-free example in flawless condition, or if you found one with a rare minting mistake, your 1984 penny could fetch as much as $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but in the world of coin collecting, these rare and pristine examples can command such high prices. The combination of rarity, condition, and unique errors makes the 1984 Lincoln penny an extremely valuable find for collectors. If you happen to stumble across one of these rare pennies, don't hesitate to have it appraised. You might just be sitting on a small fortune. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just getting started, keep your eyes peeled for that 1984 Lincoln penny. The right one could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. We'll be back soon with more tips, tricks, and information to help you find treasures in your own coin collection. Happy hunting, and good luck!